time. Bullying is a behavior that underestimates the lives and legacy of you. I'm sure that when they was bullying me, and I'm sure when they was bullying you, they didn't understand who you're going to become later on. I didn't know.
Right, because I'm popping. I can't All right, let me tell you, all those people who felt like they wanted to say whatever to me, look at me now. It's like, no, y'all don't understand, but I've been through some things, okay?
And you know what? No. I applaud you and I salute you, because a lot of times we do not take the time to say, I'm okay, and I'm okay with me, and there's nothing wrong with me, and I'm amazing, and I'm blessed, and I'm strong, and I matter.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Skyline Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Far into this unknown to find who we really are. Crash into something new and take a break from our broken heart. Talk with the hip, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, try not to say too much. Let your love come down. If you wanna rule, it's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move, don't wait on nobody else. And if it feels like a melody, sing a song, be my radio. And if you follow me there, I'll follow you back. Let the night unfold. I can tell that she can't get enough. Show enough, she couldn't get the hands off from me. Oh no, she couldn't get the hands off from me. Touching hands till we dance in the dark. Show enough, she couldn't get the hands off from me. We do whatever you like. Get the hands off from me. Oh no, she couldn't get the hands off from me. So let's slide, you and me alone, to find who we really are. Crash into something new. I got ballet bringing up the car. So told me you kiss, told me you lie. I think we should go for another round.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, and welcome to Thursday with Now We're Talking with Lolita E. Walker and
Mervin A. Bourne Jr. Welcome back to another show. We are here Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. for the last time.
For the last time.
For this year.
For this year, 2019, on BXR Radio. We are just so appreciative of each of you, honestly, for supporting us through our journey. It's been 9 months. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. It doesn't seem that way at all.
It does not. It feels like, honestly, just yesterday we were coming in and wondering about this platform, just talking about, okay, what do we want it to be? How do we want to engage with folks? And you guys stepped up and you have been here every step of the way. So we just say thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
Right? So tonight we are talking about the best of. The best of our shows, what we remember, the best from you, the best of everything we've learned. And so we'd love for you guys to just drop a line and let us know, if you have been watching the show, what is your best of show? What do you remember the most? Right. And so before we get into our wins, what we'll say is, if you are watching, which I think we have a couple of people that are watching now, if you will type in what is your most memorable memory on our show so far and the reason why, then we are going to give you a special gift. So we will make sure that you get a special gift. And which one will we gift right now?
See if somebody can use a book.
Okay, we'll see if you can use a book. So for this one here, if you can type your most memorable moment, the first person to type their most memorable segment and the reason why, then you want to gift. The first is Mervin's book.
Yeah, so we will gift whoever types in first. Would they have to send in again? Say it one more time.
You have to send in what was your most memorable segment and why. And depending, you can choose which book you would like. If you're a woman, you might choose mine, The Intersection of You and Change. If you are a man, you might choose Mervin's, or you might choose to do either way. Mervin's book, you want to tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, so my book is A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son. It's a book that I authored a few years ago and is my first publication. It's a book that's designed for women who are raising boys without a man in the home.
Yeah.
And it walks them through some really basic principles, but gives them some really hard, concrete perspectives and to-dos and explanations, and just really is a book to bring clarity when it comes to the differences between loving and spoiling your child, when it comes to building your son's self-esteem and sense of self-worth. There's a really good chapter in there that talks a lot about mentoring and the value of mentoring, why it's important, how you go about even choosing a mentor, why is it necessary, what is a mentor. And so it's a really, really helpful tool, and no other book like it has been written for the women who are raising the majority of our children and doing a job that's nearly impossible, oftentimes on their own. So I'd be more than happy to gift some lucky winner tonight their very own copy. So.
Absolutely, signed copy. So again, if you're just joining, welcome to Now We're Talking, and tonight is our last night on this platform. We are closing out 2019 with a bang, and with each of you, so thank you so much for tuning in. And as we enter 2020, I mean, my theme is really to surrender to plenty in 2020.
That's right.
So this isn't the last that you've heard from us, more to come. But the first person to write in what was your most memorable segment and why, you will get to choose if you would like a gift of Mervin's book, A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son, which is amazing. I've read it. I'm a single mom, and I did take away a lot of little nuggets that I hadn't thought about before. And my book is The Intersection of You and Change. It is a women's empowerment guide to leap to your unknown. So I take you through 17 stops of self-discovery. I take you from Journey Junction all the way to Gratitude Gateway. And it is through poetry, and I also give you some work. So it's also a workbook. And we'll get a little bit more into that later. But again, the first person to write in on what segment do you remember the most, was the most memorable to you, and then why, and let us know which book you want. And it is yours tonight. All right. Many men have also read it as well. So man or woman. Yep.
Yes. I had the privilege of reading it pre-publication, and not only was I impressed by it, but it was very cathartic. It was very practical.
Thank you.
And I really was like pleasantly impressed by how valuable it was, and the fact that somebody that I know personally wrote it. So
thank you.
It was really a privilege.
It was, and I don't know if you had this experience when you wrote your book as well, but for me, it was also therapeutic to, there's a lot of small stories about me and about my life, and then how I can relate it to you and what you're going through, or at least spark something in you, trigger something in you. And I think yours might have been the same, right?
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. A lot of thoughts that had been circulating in my mind for years, just being able to put them all out and gather my thoughts and synthesize them and challenge them and flush everything out and get it all on paper. It was definitely very therapeutic.
Yes, it has truly been a pleasure to have each and every one of you with us. So, you want to just jump right into our wins? Yes, I'll let you go. I'm going to just type on our page really quickly.
Yeah, so weekly wins. This was a really super hectic week for me, but in between all of that was a really, really happy event. Went to one of my son's basketball games. He's been playing basketball. This is his second year playing on his school's varsity team, and he's a late comer to the sport. So it's definitely been a grind for him, and he's been playing catch up. When you compare, sports these days, kids start playing at like 4 years old, and then so by the time they get to high school, they've been playing for like over a decade. And but that wasn't his story. So this has been definitely like a labor of love for him over the past 2 years, and he's been working super hard. Anyhow, he had a game this week, played in the game, and scored his first points on varsity. So I was really happy that I was there to witness that. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, so definitely a big win for me to see some of his hard work come into fruition.
Congratulations. I just spelled the word no wrong on here. Let us, I put now, let me. Did you say that's a tough one? I was trying to do too many things at once. Let me fix that before someone else lets me know that I forgot the K in that. All right. Yes, now we are ready.
All right.
So, my win, and before I get to my win, we've had a couple more people join. Hello, and welcome to Now We're Talking. It is our last night tonight, and so we are all about gifting and leaving you with a piece of us as we transition out of 2019. So the first person to write what was their favorite segment that we have had on Now We're Talking and why, then we are happy to gift you either my book, The Intersection of You and Change, or Mervin's book, A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son. So let us know what you think, and we are happy to gift that to you, a signed copy, and get it over to you, hopefully before the holidays. I don't know if it'll make it before the holidays.
If we overnight it, maybe, or FedEx it. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
we'll
That'll be the goal, but definitely
Yeah.
by the new year, you will absolutely have
There you
something.
go. You'll have a fresh new book for 2019.
2020.
2020.
2020.
Boy,
I
wow.
know, right?
I gotta get used to saying 2020.
I know, 2020. So, what was my win for last week? I think I had a couple wins, but I think my major win, one of the wins was I started writing my speech. So I'm doing a talk with this organization in DC for February for Black History Month, and I started writing it, like really writing it down, and it's going to be so powerful. It's a group for diversity and inclusion in this Black History Month, but I'm bringing in some stories of me, and I also am going to intertwine Harriet Tubman into it as well, and it's going to be so phenomenal. I'm really, really excited about it. As I started writing, some stories started coming to mind. I'm like, yeah, that did happen, and how does it relate? So that's just wonderful. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Nice. Nice. It's good that you get started so early with things like that.
Well, yes.
You are the queen of preparation. You really are.
In some aspects of my life, I do try to be properly prepared. In other aspects, like, getting my son off to school in the morning, I tell you, it is not proper preparation. We barely make it happen before the school bus comes in the morning.
Wow, it's break time already.
Is it?
7:16.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So I guess when we're back, hopefully we have heard from you guys for your free gift. We are gifting all night long. So if you are interested, let us know what your favorite show was and why. When we're back on Now We're Talking.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange radio show.
Any trouble, because I get into any trouble, but I had a problem that this then became a discussion at that workplace environment. Now, the discussion was I should have been more sensitive. In what way was my first response? And I guess when I had to meet with that said person who had the issue with the person who was said leader of that organization, I said, well, to that person, how would I have known that? Well, you should have asked.
I think so. You want my opinion?
It was a circle, and I was willing to go on that merry-go-round.
You are better than most.
Yeah.
I think that's normal when you're in a group and there's norming. Most of the time when you're in new work environments or you're in a space where you're getting to know people, it's normal now to ask for people's preferred pronouns. You wouldn't have known that.
Normal to who? What is normal?
Well, you work in social... You
but
work
I don't
in social
feel the
innovation
need to give
and
my pronouns, so it's not normal to me.
You don't, but I think, because I feel like the person was probably offended because they felt like you were not honoring whoever they are, right? But you wouldn't have known that.
Still to this moment, I don't know what their pronouns are. So in that
they didn't offer
circle, we still don't know. So I'll go as far as saying I perceived it to be a she.
Perceive them to be a she.
Them.
Yeah.
Her, him, they,
them. It seems like they, them would be the easiest one on this one.
Join us every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. for the Artist Exchange radio show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
First they love you, then desert you. Leave with a plate full with no spoon. Ain't no space, I can't escape negativity. I got used to the taste. I've been bad, burned, then fucked over. But remain strong through the Passover. Kicking haters out of the way like masked over. Roll up, sip something, let it pass over. Who would I be? It ain't the man to me that let the next man take advantage of me. When that storm come, no pan I see. Get with it, not without it, then you'll see. I beat the haters, they know I'm greater. That's why they buzzing for the elevator. But I can't save it, it'll be too loud on the pedal stool. Don't carry fakers, always got your hand out demanding favors. When I just looked out, now you need more paper. I can't breathe, give me 3 feet. I never let y'all be the death of me. When my patience run thin, yeah, nigga OT. Cause they wanna see me down like I'm NCT. 6 words, get the fuck away from me. Say I help you out if you can help yourself. I keep it G till I DIE. Now excuse me while I get back to PC. HOP ain't used to sleep while your third eye always on me. I'm stacking green just to feed the team. My boo, she know that I'm king with chasing my dream. These niggas it seems I rip them, trash them, then put on new jeans. Man, see the problem is, man, you know, I keep it 100, man. You know what I mean? Like, if I got it, then you got it. You know what I mean? But if I don't got it, then I'ma give it. You feel me? But I definitely got you through the ride, man. Let's get it, yo.
I'm really getting tired of ungrateful ass niggas. They really about to turn me to a hateful ass nigga. Like I was never there when you never had figures. Pull triggers for you niggas when you caught up in the trenches. Man, I really don't get it. I don't know what's going on, but I really don't feel it. Niggas really know that I've been there from the beginning, but the more I see niggas
Exposed Radio.
Well, if you made them, take care of them.
Yeah, that's
Period.
the real. Right. That's the real deal.
It's period.
Right. And all that old money shouldn't go toward this, money should go to. If the child is with one of the parents 24/7, 7 days a week, you don't even come get your child every day. You come get your child once a month maybe, or once every 3 months.
Right.
You cannot dictate where that money goes, especially if the child ain't calling you about nothing. Now, if the child calling you every week, then you can question about where the child support is going. But if every time you pick up the child, they look nice, they ain't complaining about nothing, why are you worrying about where the money go at?
It is what it is. Radio show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. Now we are talking. We are so excited to have you. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Almost the end of the week. Almost the weekend.
Almost
24
the weekend.
hours, just about.
Yes.
For most people, anyway.
For real. Yeah. Can you feel it already? Almost Friday. So we are so excited because it's the holiday. It's our last session here with Be Exposed Radio, which we want to thank all of you guys for being a part of it, and also want to thank Be Exposed Radio just for the platform to be able to come to you guys each week from 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. And one of the questions we asked, if you're just joining us, we see a couple people on, one of the things we wanted to know is, what was your favorite show? Because we're doing the best of. So what was your favorite segment and why? And the first person to write in, you could choose between my book or Mervin's book. And we're just going to get that going. So share that with us. For some reason, someone just texted me and said that they already wrote in, but I don't see that yet. So let me figure out how to see that.
Can find them.
Let's see. I don't see that.
Let's see.
I don't see it. So we're gonna have to. I'm on the Now We're Talking page, and so let me just do one more thing, just to make sure that we are getting, just in case somebody's writing. Oh, this is on what page are you writing? So we'll find that out. And in the meantime, we just wanted to let you guys know.
It's not on the Now We're Talking page.
Yeah, we're taking a look at it too. Okay, no problem. So we don't see it yet, but try to type it again, and we are happy to write it in. They said the show page. We don't see it.
Yeah,
so
just send it in one more time for us, please.
Yeah, send it in one more time.
We would love to see what you said.
We'd love to have you.
Which show you picked.
But in the meantime, what was one of your most memorables?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. To start, I would say there was a show where we talked about alternatives to traditional medicine, and we had 3 amazing guests on the show. One of them was the drum doctor Dot. Another one was Ray Sunlight.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Oh, Sunlight.
Sunlight. Ray Sunlight.
Yep.
who was talking about crystals and the power of healing
Reiki
crystals.
energy, right?
Yes, Reiki energy, and then Thema from the womb sauna
Yes,
was
she's
the
so
third
powerful.
guest. And the synergy between those 3 guests was so amazing. They were all very different.
Mhm.
They touched on very different aspects of
Mhm.
alternative healing.
Because Thema talks about womb, the womb, she's from the womb sauna, the owner
Right.
of the womb sauna, and how the energy in your womb, how you can harness it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the connection between that energy and disease
Mhm.
and things of that nature. So that was really amazing. Just learning about that and learning about healing crystals and the energy aspects of different minerals from the earth was just something that was totally way over my head. And
I wasn't
learned a
here
lot
for that one.
Yeah,
I
and they
tuned
all,
in.
The cool thing about that show is those 3 women never met before,
Mhm.
and I had never met any of them, and it was like the room was like we had been friends for like years. It was like a really interesting
Dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So Drum Dr. Dot was
Yes.
here, and the
Mhm.
way that I found Drum Dr. Dot is I'm always looking for a different type of healing for my women's retreats. And I was looking for someone local, Baltimore, not too far from Purcellville, Virginia. And she came up and I looked and I'm like, wow, that's so super dope, because she uses spoken word and poetry as well as percussions and healing to really get into your spirit and African dance. And she came on the show, right? And that energy with Thema, who had come to a previous retreat of mine, and talking about her womb, and she's just such power anyway when she walks into a room. And then the Reiki energy from Ray Sunlight,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And then Thema also does, if I'm not mistaken, relationship therapy.
Yeah, she does.
So it was a
Mhm.
really good. It was just like from beginning to end, nonstop learning, nonstop fun, nonstop energy, and I felt good being the only man in the room, surrounded by all that feminine energy. It was so powerful.
And I felt like you were asking so many questions in that one too. Did you?
Yeah, I did ask a lot of questions,
Mhm.
and because they were all like, they all had so much to offer, and so many different perspectives,
Mhm.
and it was really cool to just be able to sit back and just interview them and just let them,
Just be.
just let all the information come out and just sit back and learn and listen.
Mhm. You know what's interesting about that is I tuned in. I was traveling somewhere and I tuned in to, and I heard Drum Dr. Dot just doing some poetry with the percussions, and I felt it from where I stood.
And that was cool,
She was
because she like literally performed on the show.
Yep, she did.
And the singing and the percussion, and she was really good. I mean, that aside from just, you could, like you said, you felt the energy
I
through
did.
the phone
I
or through
did.
the internet. Like, it was just really, really amazing. So we're just really an amazing people, and so that night was surely a reminder for me.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. So that was your one of your moments on the show.
One of my more memorable moments,
Mhm.
for sure.
So we'd love to hear from you. And it's interesting because 2 people now have texted me and said that they wrote in, but we just don't see it.
Well, we're about to come up on a break, so
Okay.
we can, sort through
I'll
these
give a call and figure out.
technicalities
Yes.
and figure this out. But we'll be back in 2 minutes, so stay with us.
Yes.
More Now We're Talking is coming your way.
All right.
Skirt, 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 skirt. Start, skirt, 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 start, start. I be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I be up in the way. 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 Bedroom phone ring
time when I'm grinding. This Adderall got me nauseous. Proceed with caution. Tired of lanes, I'm exhausted. Popping Zanny Zan, sipping out the faucet. I'm confused, don't know what I'm doing. Wait, what I'm doing? Got me going where the I'm going. Out of space where I'm going. Wait, where I'm going? Wait, where I'm going? Out of space where I'm going. Out of space where I'm going. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Can I talk to you? I've been working hard. I've been up all night. I just been so high. I feel nothing off the sands. Withdrawals killing me. I need something to sleep. Need you on top of me. I need to get high. Dreams designer all night. Chanel should be haunting my dreams. Wearing my clear on my sleeve. I'm not who you need me to be. Indigo sound for the team. Royalty sound for the team. Hippie vibing for the team. I need space, girl. I need to get out, yeah. Slow my motions, leaning. I've been out, yeah. Never worry about me. I've been chilling. Can't do this no more. I'm in my feelings. Can't put your business all out in the open. Can't fix a heart that's already been broken. You changed my ways, I'm already hopeless. I take my time, I figure it out, girl. You know you are. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 I'll be up in the way.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the Black by Demand radio show.
Control. They said she wouldn't, so they didn't know if she had a weapon. So it's just a mess. So yeah.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking with your host, Mervin A. Bourne Jr. and Lolita E. Walker.
Hello, happy Thursday, happy Thursday.
Tonight we are celebrating our final show on this platform, so it's a bittersweet night for us, but there definitely will be more to come in 2020. We'll be making some announcements in the near future to let you know where you can keep up with us and catch up to us, and we're going to start up some fun in 2020.
Yes, and in the meantime, in between time, you can always catch me at lolitawalker.com, LOLITA Walker.com,
and mervinbourne.com.
Yes. So we put out, we're giving gifts all night long. And so the first one was, tell us what your favorite segment is and why. And we are going to gift either my book or Mervin's book. And so it looks like, although we can't see it, we did get a screenshot of proof from Carte Blanche. Thank you so much. And that said, okay, hold on. That said that her favorite segment was when we talked about shining and sharing your truth. Yep. We talked about that a couple of times actually, but really sitting in your truth, and sometimes it's difficult, right?
Yeah, it usually is.
Sometimes you don't like what you see or what you find, and really sitting in that moment, leveraging that momentary interruption to help you shift to the best version of yourself. Right. And so for you get a book. You can write in and let us know which book you would like. The Intersection of You and Change, which is my book, which takes you through 17 stops of self-discovery. And we have Mervin's book, A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son.
you have to let them know how to reach you.
Yes. So the way that you can reach me is by sending an email directly to nowwearetalkinglive@gmail.com. Now we're talking live at gmail.com. If you send that, only Mervin and I have access to that with your address, and we'll be sure to get it out to you as soon as we can, so that you can have it for the new year. So congratulations to
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. And you shared your favorite moment was when we had the alternative healing.
Yeah. So we were talking about which our most memorable shows, because we did a lot of shows in 2019.
Yeah, we had.
It did fly by. It doesn't seem. I can't believe it's the end of the year. But yeah, I was telling the audience about how one of my most memorable shows was the alternative healing show, and the overarching theme was that there are alternatives to healing illnesses and ailments other than traditional Western medicine.
Yeah.
And that was really educational for me, to learn that it's not just one other thing, but there are literally, tens, if not hundreds of different alternative healing methods and ideologies and practices outside of traditional Western pharmaceuticals and medicine. So it was really, really a cool show.
Yeah, I think one of the things with that, anytime we talk about alternative healing, so your options outside of a regular physician, there's always some hesitation, and more so because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so it comes with, what is it that you're asking me to put in my body?
Skepticism.
Right? Skepticism, and talk to me about what the benefits are to that. And because I haven't seen it, let's just say on mainstream TV, you might not believe that it actually can do something. And I think another thing is, I know, for instance, when I first had someone sage around me, I was skeptical. And it's more because I didn't know what it was. I didn't understand it. And I think sometimes if you don't open your mind to explore and ask the questions of what is it that you're doing, what is it that you're saying, what is it that you think that this is doing, then you don't welcome in a new perspective. And
Totally.
I think,
Totally.
have you had that experience?
It is very true, because I know that we were trained to think a certain way.
Yeah.
And anything that challenges that traditional way of thinking, we're taught to be skeptical about it. And when it comes to medicine, we're not trained to ask questions. We're not trained to ask about the medicines that we put into our bodies, about the directives that we're given from physicians. And it's really as we come into our older years and our mature years that we start to, some of us anyway, start to ask these questions. And it wasn't until definitely like into my 30s that I realized that medication by and large treats symptoms. It doesn't really cure things. It treats the symptoms of whatever it is that's ailing you. And so there are other fields of thought or fields of healing that really speak to getting to the root of what's ailing you, as opposed to just treating the symptoms, which is what we've become used to as medicine. So.
Yes. And so let me think about one of my most memorable segments. I think it was with Kenji Jackson, who is a fitness coach, and he came in and had us up, against the back wall and doing some exercises. And I remember feeling like, oh my goodness, my legs are going to give out right on the camera.
With the world watching.
With the world watching forever and forever on
shaking.
YouTube. My knees were shaking. I was like, I got to get in shape. So Kenji did a great deal of showing us what can we do with our own body weight without even needing extra weights.
Yeah.
And I thought that was
even
good.
in your workspace, which I thought was really cool too.
Yeah.
Like if you have an office at work or you sit at a desk at work, you have a lot of us have a sedentary lifestyle where you might be sitting, for 7-8 hours a day at a computer screen or, at a desk. And there are things that he showed us that you can do, like a full, great, strenuous, but not too strenuous, but strenuous enough workout, literally, like you said, with your body weight in your office or at your desk.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, I remember it now. So that was good. And Kenji used to be my personal trainer when I was in Baltimore, and he does such a phenomenal job that, Kenji, if you're watching, I'm glad that you were able to come in and be a guest and show us how we can just use our own weight to work out every day.
Yes, BKS Fitness, I believe is.
Yes, it is BKS Fitness right out of Baltimore. So we'll be sure to, one of the things we do want to leave everybody with is a list of who our guests were in case you want to get in touch with them. So we'll be sure to do
certainly. And Kenji also was a guest workshop host at my most recent men's wellness retreat. And I had a session for the men who attended on physical fitness and the importance of physical wellness. And he did such a phenomenal job. He had us in that mansion, sweating and working hard and pushing us and challenging us. And it was just really a really awesome experience. So if anybody's looking for a great personal trainer in the Baltimore area, Kenji is definitely highly recommended.
Yes, absolutely. He was awesome. So shout out, thank you, Kenji. And Thema, if you're watching, we've talked about you, about Ray Sunlight, and about Dr. Drum Dr. Dot,
yes.
Who will be at my women's retreat February 20th through the 23rd. So those are two that I really remember. For those of you guys who are still joining and you weren't here in the beginning, we gave away one of our books, and that was just simply for writing what was your favorite segment and why. Right?
Yeah.
So I think what we'll do is give away the second book, and if you write in with what are we looking for this time? I like the favorite segment and why. But.
Yeah, I want to know more about that too. Like what segment or show topics or guests did you like the best, and what was memorable about it to you? So if you write in and let us know, text it in. We're streaming live right now, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, you get the second book. Let us know. I'm typing at the same time. This is the power of being live. So what we've recognized is that we have a bunch of different devices that we have to make sure that we're looking at because I still don't see the original post, but we did get a text with a screenshot. So however you can get it to us, please just let us know what was your favorite segment. Yeah. And I like what you added about maybe even if you don't remember the segment, who was the guest that really brought it out for you, right?
Yeah. So another show that was very memorable to me was the show where we had Alan Boomer on from Momentum Advisors, and he talked about financial wellness.
Yes, he was good.
I mean, he talked about, a lot of different things. We talked about entrepreneurship with him because he's an entrepreneur who left corporate America, much like you did, and started his own business, built his own company. And but he also talked about like things that just regular, ordinary people can do to start themselves on that road to financial wellness, which includes saving, investing, paying down debt, and then even talked about franchising, getting into more complicated steps, but talked about franchising and retirement saving and retirement planning, and that was I was just literally like a sponge on that show, just trying to soak up as much as I could. So that was a really cool show as well.
That was, yeah. So Victoria wrote to us, you will be getting a book. I just wrote to you and said, thank you for writing in. Walker will be 2 pumps. So she said her favorite show, one of her favorite segments was when Walker was on. And Walker was just so candid, and she said, awesome. So I just asked Vicky, if you are still here, let us know which book would you like, and we'll be sure to get that over to you. You also said that I also enjoyed the segment on mental health. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of shows on mental health.
Yeah, I wonder which one specifically she liked the most, because we did at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think we did 3 in a row. We had a couple of people on for that one. We've had Tammy Mark on. We've had Kiana Roberts Butler. We've had Keita Peebles. We've had Lindsay Dial.
Right, who has her own therapeutic counseling business in Maryland.
Yep. We talked a lot about Dr. Sophia, even though a lot of you guys were not able to meet her, but we talked a lot about Dr. Sophia Rahman, who at least comes to my women's retreats every session. I think it's so important to have a therapist there. Talking about mental health. So thank you so much, Victoria, for writing in. Those were some powerful sessions on mental health. Oh, we've also had, remember we had 2 TEDx speakers on with us that joined us. We had Manov and we had Mary Angela as well, talking from suicide and talking from art therapy.
Yes, very powerful shows. A few shows ago, we had Miss Lindsay Dial on. She was talking about dating with depression. And recognizing depression in your friends and family, and we just addressed depression from so many different aspects. But it was really interesting to hear her talk about the changes that she noticed in the demographic of her clientele, and the increase in men and boys engaging in therapy, and how that stigma that's typically attached to men and mental health or therapeutic services is now changing in a positive direction, where it's become more acceptable and more culturally acceptable for boys and men to seek that kind of assistance.
Yeah, I think one of the things that if we could turn the tables, I'll ask you a couple of questions just about men in general. You recently had a men's retreat.
Yeah.
One of the things we talked about on one of our sessions is how did that come about, and why was it so important to you?
Yeah, so it came about after listening to you talk so positively about the retreats that you've been sponsoring for women, and how positive they've gone and how beneficial they've been, not only for them but for you as well. How you were able to witness time after time breakthroughs, and people just coming into new versions of themselves, and people going through the fire, so to speak, but sticking through it as the retreat went on, and just gaining so much from it, and leaving with this new and different understanding of life and of themselves. And just the whole idea that something that amazing doesn't really exist for men, even though we really need it. And if the idea that if you all are working on yourselves and doing that tough work and trying to bring your best selves into relating with us, then we should be doing the same thing too. So it really got me thinking about the fact that I should spearhead this initiative and get the first one off the ground. So I did it. And
what's some of the feedback that you got from it?
Oh my goodness, so much positive feedback. The opportunity to rest and think was I really underestimated what a big deal that was going to be. But what I learned is that the men that were there, they felt so overworked and drained, and both physically and mentally. I also learned that thinking about the future in a very strategic and planned way, where you're setting goals for yourself, and setting goals for yourself that might seem like they're unattainable, or might seem like they're a reach. But taking it a step beyond a goal and just setting strategic steps that are going to actually get you there. I learned that was a new experience for many of the men there.
Yes. So for those of you guys that are just joining, hey, and welcome to Now We Are Talking. It is Thursday, and tonight is our last night on this platform. It's our last time with you guys here, and one of the things that we definitely want to talk about when we come back is delving into the book a little bit, and then also hearing back from some of you guys' favorite topics. So before we leave, we want to say congratulations to Carte Blanche Simmons as well as Victoria Hardman. You guys are the winners of each one of our books. And so just let us know which book you would like, and we'll make sure we get that out to you. When we are back, we'll delve more in, and thanks for tuning in. Now We're Talking.
sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rebel rap. Let's do it.
If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head and I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Work the mode, tell them where the cash. If you wear the cash, tell them where the cash. If you playing for you, gon' run it back. Don't make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. Now it's all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crack. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. How I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. Why you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you. Sometimes I need privacy too. Yeah, you know I ride, and you know you ride for me too. Yeah, you know I. Look, you like getting that hit for real. When it's me and Murray, just us, we chill. I'm in a rush to get off to get you. Never ever had to floss to get you. Pay the dues that it cost to kiss you. Rug burns on the carpet with you.
Oh yeah. Come on, dog, throw this in there. Had to dedicate this to the homie out of New Orleans. Break. Said she wanna bump that. You wanna do it? Go ahead, do it. I said
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up to, just go hard. Don't matter. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom's bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head. I could wait for your response, but they let her hear me talk, so I'll just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them.
Now listen to BeExposedRadio.com. Check out this fire flashback.
We need to relearn what it is to be these bosses and how we conduct ourselves as business-minded individuals and just people in general. I let my gut, and if I call it gut or God or whatever, I'm led by that energy. I know where it comes from.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, and welcome back to Now We Are Talking. Hello, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to another show, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, so if you are new to tonight, we have a couple of people on. We want to give a super shout out to Carte Blanche Simmons and Victoria Hartman. You guys were the first to write in and let us know what was your favorite segment and why. And you both are being gifted one of our books. Just let us know which one you want and we'll make sure we get that in the mail. My book, The Intersection of You and Change, is really a guide that guides you through 17 stops of self-discovery. You start at Journey Junction and you end at Gratitude Gateway. For those of you guys who didn't win, you can get it at lolitawalker.com. You can get it from Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, or lulu.com.
Awesome. And my book, The Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son, can be found on my website, mervinbourne.com, as well as amazon.com in both paperback and ebook.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll talk back about your retreat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm an author, so this is my first book. I'm currently writing my second book, which will be available for release by Father's Day 2020, which is going to be called 365 Meditations for the Purpose-Driven Man. So what I devoted this part of my life to doing is using my experiences in life, both personal and professional, to empower people, particularly men, to be better fathers, to be better leaders, to be better brothers, to be better mates for the people that we're in relationship with. And so the first stop on that journey was addressing the population of people that is in control of the largest part of our destiny, which is the mothers who are raising the majority of us. Many people don't realize this, but if you are in African American community in this country, close to 80% of us are being raised by single mothers. And in other communities, the percentage is still really high. It's, hovering somewhere between 60 and 70%. So coming to the realization that women play a really large role in our destiny, it occurred to me that I really need to make something for them. And that was the impetus behind my first book. The second book, I really feel like I can delve directly into the needs of men and the mental, emotional, spiritual, physical wellness of men. And I'm doing this in a way that will address us from a holistic perspective, that will promote us being well-rounded in how we think, in how we live, and how we approach and see life.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2020 is going to be a year for me of increase that I'm claiming. I want my book to reach as many people as possible all over the world. And 2019 was the year that I've done the most in terms of traveling and speaking to groups of people. And 2020, I really want to continue that, and I intend to continue that, just doing as much motivational speaking as I can, and as much writing as I can, and as much interacting with people as I can, both through my website and in person. So those are really the two core things that I'm focusing on for 2020 is publishing and reaching people that way, as well as directly through my motivational speaking.
I love it. Kenji, welcome. We talked about you. I said that one of my favorite segments was when you had us up, you got us moving. We talked about you being a fitness coach, but we also talked about the mental challenges that comes with that. And when you were on the show, you were able to talk to us about both.
Yeah.
Mervin talked about you at the men's retreat and how powerful that was. Mm-hmm. So a big shout out to BKS Fitness.
Push us to the limits.
Pushing us beyond our limits, I'm trying to tell you.
Beyond our limits.
Yes, so thank you for that. I see Natasha, you joined, and thank you so much for being on the show as well, because what you were able to do is demystify some of what we think about the law, some of what we see on Law and Order that is entertaining, but is not real, right? And I think what you really left us with is just be quiet. Just stop talking. You have the right to remain silent and take that and just be quiet. So we appreciate you.
Especially if you did it.
Especially if you did it.
That's the part that always
you didn't
leave
say
out.
that. You didn't say that, Natasha, but Mervin added that piece on because he wasn't here the day that you were here.
I know, I missed a great show.
The one I'm trying to type in but right now we are saying the next person. So congratulations to our first two winners who won either my book or Mervin's book, and that was just for writing what was your favorite segment and why. And now we are asking the same question, and what you were going to win this time is I'm going to gift I have an affirmation box that is a box of 40 affirmation cards, as well as a stand, and literally you pull out one a day, and it's amazing 4x4 card of an affirmation that you just say aloud every day. And the intent is that you start your day with intention. And I have had no complaints. I wrote it when I was 40. That's why there's 40 cards in the deck. And that was a very transformational year for me. So if you can answer the question, what was your favorite segment or one of your most memorable segments, and why? And why is the most important piece.
Can you talk a little bit about what an affirmation is for people that are not that familiar with that whole idea and concept?
Yes. So hopefully this thing I just put in. make sense. I was typing in and talking. So an affirmation is a declaration. It is a promise to you. Whoa. Okay. It is a declaration. It is an affirmative that helps you start with intention. So it is I am the power, or I am power. I am power that will illuminate any room today, right? When you start with that, I am a money magnet. I am purpose driven. I am. So for my, it is a declaration. My son, when he was on a show, Victoria talked about this, but when he was on a show, he did his affirmation, and it is really a declaration for you to just walk, talk, and be differently, right, in your day.
Why is it important for the affirmation to be a statement or a declaration as opposed to a question? Oh, we have a caller.
Oh, we have a caller. 1 second. We're going to come back to affirmations. All right, you keep talking, I guess. Hi. Welcome to Now We're Talking. I'm doing good. Hold on. I'm going to put you on the air, okay? 1 second. Okay, we have a caller. And I'll use my microphone. Welcome to the show, Elmora. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Yes. So, thank you. Hold on a second. We're getting technically. Perfect. Thank you. So, one of the reasons you called in, I know, was to let us know. A couple reasons is to let us know one of your favorite moments on the show, and why.
One of them was when you all had it was a fitness person up there, and I thought it was interesting because being that the New Year is coming up, everyone has the goal of their health to lose weight or to incorporate exercise into their routine, and I know that's what I'm trying to do personally. So I learned a lot from that segment, and to see how how they demonstrated some routines with y'all. I thought that was good.
Oh, good. That was Kenji Jackson, actually, and he just joined us online. So hopefully he can hear that as well, to know that it's not only us, but someone else that was watching saw that too. That always feels like a winner. And while I have you on, I did want to ask you, because we've been talking about retreats, and Mervin was literally just talking about his men's retreat. So you have been to actually each one of my retreats. Elmora, I have a funny story. So Elmora came to my first retreat. I believe it was to support me. That's the story I tell anyway. That was just like, hey, you're having a retreat and I'm going to support you because this is your thing. It's your first time doing it. But after that, what has driven you to make sure that every 6 months you're at this retreat?
I know because it's a lot that I learned from it, and I just feel like, how you incorporate going to the dentist and going to get your physical every year. Your retreats kind of incorporate into my routine with my lifestyle to try to get my goals in check and my life journey, like where I'm headed. So it kind of puts me back on track, or it puts me in the right direction. Oh,
I love it. If you were to, thank you for that, by the way. And I'm not even paying her, so this is great.
That's a heck of an endorsement.
That's an endorsement. Yeah. So if I was to ask you, like, what's one thing that as a result of attending one of my retreats, you walk away doing this differently? Well, like, what would you say you do differently?
I would say I prioritize differently, because every time that I go to the retreat, it's always a different chapter of my life that I'm in. So when I go, I'm able to focus more on exactly where I'm, the direction I'm headed at that moment, and just chime in on prioritizing to actually, stay on track and not get distracted. So it just keeps me pretty much organized and focused. That's what I'm walking away from. Yeah. Oh,
thank you. Okay. And then Mervin just asked me a question while I have you. I'm like asking every single question possible. Okay, this is the last one. Mervin just asked me a question about affirmations and those being so important to me. Walker was just on a show last week and did his affirmation. At the retreat, I do affirmations throughout the entire retreat weekend. What would you say is like the power of an affirmation if you were to give a summary?
I would say when I do the affirmations, I have your affirmation cards, and I have affirmations written on my mirror every day, which I got from the retreat. You should put on your mirror at the retreat. But what I get from it is I say it out loud, and to hear your voice just say it, it kind of brings power to it because you're not only speaking it, but you're hearing it. So it's just powerful when you do it yourself versus someone else telling you, oh, you can do it, but you speaking it yourself like into existence.
Well, thank you, Elmora. I appreciate you dialing in and taking the time.
Thank you for calling in. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know why I'm yelling. Okay. Bye-bye.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
My internet is acting funny, but I think we have a couple of people. So Natasha wrote, appreciate you and the energy your show brings. Thank you so much, Natasha. I gifted a box of your affirmations to my daughter. She uses them as a guide to grow into her best self. That feels so amazing just to hear. For me, is to know that, to reaffirm, to use that word, to validate that what you are doing actually has a purpose and an impact, which is one of the things that is really, really important to me.
And that's something that came from your mind is having a positive effect on somebody else's life. That's got to be a good feeling.
I love it. I'm so excited. Yeah, I feel it all inside.
So right before we got the call, you and I were talking about, with respect to affirmations, why is it important that they be statements as opposed to questions or just random thoughts?
Affirmations are declarations. So it is you affirming the greatness that is already within you. It is you saying aloud a statement of intention. That's what an affirmation is. So like walkers, I am great, I am strong, I will focus this day all day long. Right? It is, this is what I'm going to do. This is my intention for today. I'm going to walk in and I'm going to talk in and I'm going to believe it. I'm going to know it. I'm going to do it. Right? It is the declaration of how you want your day to go, how it will go. And that's the end of it. Right?
Yeah.
And the great thing about affirmations is that what I found when people have used them, over time, even in my programs. So I'm actually running an 8-week program right now that I have a number of people in. And one of the first pieces is to create this affirmation that is specifically for you and the needs that you have. And what I can tell you is that over time, it doesn't become a chore or work. It becomes, and what they say, what these women that go through the program say is, I'm doing things differently. I'm doing my work differently. How I show up is different. And when you can intentionally make it towards your strengths and then the opportunities that you have, it just makes it even more powerful.
So it's transformative is what it sounds like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love it. I love the work that I do. So what I do for all of you guys who are just joining or new to kind of Mervin and I is that I help women and I help teams. And so I help you really find the power inside of your pause.
Yeah.
For women, it is, we give so much to everybody every single day that we rarely take time for ourselves. And I mean, without guilt of somebody's depending on me. I got to do this at home. I got to do this for my kids. I got to do this for my spouse. I got to do this for my partner. I'm like the superwoman of it all. And then when we do finally pause, get a moment, somebody's calling you. Right? And so I gift a space that allows you to pause and move distractions out of your way. So people say, well, how are you going to help me move distractions out of your way? You got to come to the retreat and you'll absolutely feel it.
So definitely. One of the things that I've observed about women is that, and this applies to people in general, but women in this specific way, typically we're products of what we've been taught and what we've learned, right? And most cultures teach women to be caretakers. And so that's what you learn as a child, as an adolescent, and then as a woman, and you grow into that. At least the idea that even if you're not doing it in practice, you're supposed to be a caretaker. But rarely are women taught that caretaking should include themselves. So if you're not taught it, then you don't really know how to do it. And I'd imagine that a lot of women that you meet on your journey as a certified professional life coach come to you from a position of not even knowing what that means and not even knowing how to take care of themselves.
Absolutely. Not even knowing the power of just sitting still for 10 minutes.
And not knowing that that's not wrong to do.
Yes.
And that's not a bad or
guilt
lazy
associated with
thing
it.
to
Right.
do. Yeah.
Or, right, that I'm feeling selfish that I'm taking this time away from someone else. And what I tell women all the time is that there's power in the word no. And saying no to someone or something is actually you saying yes to you. And it's okay to do that, because what'll happen is that we work ourselves so much that our body's gonna shut us down. Your body naturally shuts you down, right? And you don't have to be a woman to understand or feel that, but the power and the passion that I have is really in helping women like me, right? A busy power woman that is doing everything and kind of getting nowhere at the same time. Like, you see results, absolutely, but when it comes down to really knowing you and tapping into it, how much have you rediscovered you? Because over time, we've shifted, but we haven't really gotten in tune with ourselves. And then for teams that I work with, whether it's teams like Another Retreat, or I go into corporations and businesses, it is working with that group to collectively understand their strengths collectively, and then how do they get to the results that they want.
As far as you going into corporations, what have you noticed is like the biggest impediment to what you're trying to accomplish when you step in the door?
Yes. So I think it's a couple things. One is people don't like to talk about what their gaps are in front of other people, especially at work, because there's a work culture that, yeah, we're cool at work, but we're not really that cool, and I'm not letting you into my personal life. And so breaking that barrier to say, listen, for us to work effectively and collectively, let's talk about what the gaps are as related to work. And like a lot of times what I found is that it all comes back to, and I do these exercises, but I already know it's all going to come back to the foundation of you. So we're going to end up talking about you, because when you don't bring your best self to work, it shows in every single thing you do. Right. So what's the goal, right? What's our goal? So I think that is one of the major things, is not wanting to share and being guarded up front.
That's got to be so hard, because being at work, it's kind of counterintuitive to what we're trained to do at work and how we're trained to present.
Yeah.
And at work, it seems like we're trained to present ourselves as having it all together, as doing everything right, as not being overworked or not being overwhelmed, because most people are afraid that there's going to be some kind of penalty for that. Whether it's on an evaluation or if it's just in perception. Like, and so a lot of times we walk around with a mask like we have it all together. And I'd imagine that when you walk in the door, anything that tries to remove that mask or lift that veil of everyone's perfect, everyone has it all together, there's no problems going on, nothing to see here, why are you here? We're good, we don't need you. I'd imagine that every once in a while, at least some of that seeps out and maybe, may act as a barrier to what you're trying to accomplish for them.
It does.
So
it does.
That's hard. That's difficult.
It is difficult, but I think the power in it is once you make that breakthrough, and not the joy you feel, but then what you see from someone's face. So I recently did a workshop, a session with a team, and at the end, one of the men said, wow, like that was perfect for me right now in my life, because now I'm able to leverage what you taught us personally and professionally. And he said it shifted me. It shifted me. And I always talk about what my goal is for that workshop or that session, and then did I meet the goal at the end, and that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
And you found that you had met the goal.
Yeah, I found I met the goal, which is always #winner. So I'm all in for that. But I think that I bet for you too, do you feel like this nostalgic feeling when you hit an aha or a breakthrough?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I get still tripped out when sometimes I'll have like an outer body experience where I step out of myself speaking to a group of people and I'm seeing them and I'm like, wow, they're really engaged and soaking in everything
Yeah.
that I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's just really a really humbling feeling that I have something to offer that's going to positively affect somebody's life, and they're taking it in and they're listening to it.
Yep, that's always a winner. So for those of you guys who are just joining, we are seeing a couple more people join. Hey, welcome. It's Thursday. Now we're talking. One of the things that we've been talking about is this is the best of show. It's our last night
of 2019.
Yes, it's our last night of 2019, and it's our last night on this platform. And so we've been talking about the best of shows. We would love to hear from you on what was your favorite segment and why. When we're back on Now We're Talking, we are gifting another gift. It's gifts throughout the entire night, but let us know and you'll be gifted something. When we're back, Now We're Talking.
Whatever happened to the times when we cared for one another? We shared the same respect. What is happening? We're trading what's important for shiny things. I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Don't lose yourself, stay on track. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken battles we won. You're so much better than that. Sometimes the truth ain't always catchy as rap. Stop chasing cheese or you'll get stuck in a trap. Go get your crown and never render it back. No, it's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? Stop all that blasphemy. We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. You're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
Exactly.
just don't do
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature. And I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like, you know,
The Artist Exchange Radio Show.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco, strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking with Melvin A. Bourne Jr. and Lolita E. Walker.
Hi, happy Thursday.
Thanks a lot for joining us again. This is our last show of 2019 and also our last show on this particular platform, but we will be back in 2020, so stay tuned. We'll be reaching out to you via all social media to keep you posted on when we'll be back live. So stay with us through our Facebook pages, our Instagram pages, our Twitter pages. We'll be all over the place, and we'll definitely be letting you know when we're back live again. But tonight, we're talking best ofs. We're talking about our favorite shows of 2019, which ones we liked, why we liked them, who our favorite guests were. And also, we've been giving away free stuff all show.
So kudos and congratulations to Carte Blanche, to Victoria, to Elmora, and a special shout out to Elmora, who called in and talked about, the result of working with me and coming to my retreat. She also talked about the value of affirmations and what she's learned from her time with me. And what else? We asked her like a bunch of stuff. It was like
Yeah, she talked about how she's incorporated the retreats into her routine. So it's like a given that she's going to be going yearly.
Yes, she does. Yeah, every 6 months she's at the retreat. So, hey, Carte Blanche, congratulations. Yes.
Hi, Marva. Hello. Thank you so much for watching. Lynette, I see you. Thank you so much for watching. Bernardo, Tamisha, thank you so much for checking us out.
Yes,
we
I
appreciate
see
you.
Arlene, Carte Blanche, Tiffany, hey, Boston. Jermaine, Wilson, Novella, hey, Novella. Natasha, hey. And thank you for being a guest on the show. Mr. Epps, hello, how are you? Eric Smith, hello. Let me just say, Eric, I so appreciate you. I met Eric at what is the name? The Black and Brown Founders. I feel like it's Black and Brown Founders. Please let that be right. But I met him in Philadelphia, and he was one of the experts who you could book some time and kind of go talk to.
Okay.
And I ended up one-on-one with him, and I must say that he has just been a lifesaver. He's always there to answer any questions that I have, to give me guidance, and also to support me in everything that I post, and just has been with me. So thank you, Eric. You just have been amazing, and I'm so appreciative. And the more you talk to people, you know somebody in common. The world is so small.
It is.
So Victoria, hey. Who else do I see? Hold on, I'm going slow. All right, yay. Okay, so we've been talking about your favorite segment. That's another thing, is let us know, what was your favorite segment? Who was your most memorable guest? What was your most memorable topic? We've gifted our books. Right now we are gifting a deck of 40 affirmations with a stand that is so powerful. We have some testimonials that have written in, and also you're going to be gifting.
Yeah, so right now, this segment, I'm going to be gifting a $100 credit to my next men's retreat. If you win this, you can use it for yourself, or you can transfer it to another person, another man, if you want to give it as a gift who you want to attend the men's wellness retreat that's coming up in 2020 at a date to be announced. So
yes, and that's a great gift for Christmas. Put it right
sure
under the
is.
tree
It
or in the
sure
stocking
is.
stuffer. $100 off. You can't get any better than that.
That's right.
So this segment, we are doing the $100 off for Mervin's retreat. I can also gift $100 off for my upcoming Women's Weekend Renewal Retreat, which is February 20th through the 23rd. It's in Purcellville, Virginia. All inclusive. You show up and I take care of the rest.
And all you have to do is type in what are the top 3 things that you've learned from watching any of our shows in 2019.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Top 3 things that you've learned.
What are the top 3 things that you have learned from watching our shows in 2019? This one is for $100 off either Lolita's Women's Weekend Renewal Retreat or
the 2020 Men's Wellness Retreat.
Mervin's Men's Wellness. Okay. Bam. Y'all are really quiet tonight for free gifts. I tell you. I tell you. So there you go. There you have it. We are gifting $100 off both of our retreats. So what you need to do is write in, I love that, Mervin, the top 3 things you've learned from watching our shows in 2019. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So thinking about best of shows and our favorite moments from 2019, we had a show where we had Jason Downs and Tiffany Collins on. And they are the founders of a firm called Downs Collins, and they talked about so many different things we covered, but we talked a lot about entrepreneurship and what led them to start their own law firm, because I was really excited about talking to them because, well, for lots of reasons, but one of them being they're not old people. And a lot of times when we think about people that own successful businesses, whether it's a law practice or a financial company or, you know, a brick and mortar shop, we tend to think of older people, and we tend to think that you have to be like in your 50s or 60s or 70s to be doing really cool entrepreneurial things like that. And the reality is that that's totally a myth. It's totally not true. And we know so many people, we've had so many guests on the show that do not fit into that older person box. There are people who are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who have founded and who are running amazing businesses. Yeah. And I think it was really wonderful that we were able to spotlight that on our show.
Oh yeah. We also had Elva Tillman. I just love her. And she was on talking about the Baltimore Bar Association. And she had me come in and do kind of an author spotlight.
And the Baltimore Museum, right?
Yes.
Affiliated with the Baltimore Museum. Yeah.
Yes. It was so great. And so she was a great guest. And on with her was a pro bono lawyer.
Yes. That name. I
please.
Just had it right in front of me.
You know what? I texted it to somebody the other day. I'm going to find it too because it was so good. And we want to tell you who this is because we want you to be able to leverage those services. Here it is right here. I just sent it to somebody. How do I get in there?
Jen, but I'm going to mess up the last name. It starts with
wait, I have to find it this way in order
I don't want to mispronounce it.
No.
Oh,
I don't.
Wow, we have a caller.
Okay, that's great.
Hello, you're on Now We're Talking.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, I'm great.
Checking in with you and had some thoughts about the recent retreat.
Is this Dr. Black?
This is.
Hey, Dr. Black, how are you?
I'm doing terrific. Good to hear from you both.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. We are on, you're on live, and we have been talking about some of our favorite guests, of which you are absolutely one of them.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in this year, making our 2019 bright.
I hope you guys continue going along and doing some of the great topics and discussions that you've been doing, and I was happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. So one of the things was the retreats.
Yeah, so we had a caller earlier who had attended one of Lolita's women's retreats, and she called in and just talked about a couple of the highlights from the retreat and why the retreat experience for her is so meaningful and so important. And we thought it would be a good idea if we could have one of the men who attended the first men's wellness retreat in 2020 that happened in November to just call in and just shed some light about what your experience was and why it would be beneficial for other people to come in 2020.
So, well, I apologize in advance because I did not hear the earlier discussion from the lady's perspective, but I can certainly offer up my own and hopefully not be redundant or cover something else that's been done. But I think the singular most important and impactful portion of the men's retreat for me is being around other men in an environment that you seldom can find yourself in. This was an environment filled with, men from various backgrounds, but several professionals. Some are early in their careers, some are more seasoned. But to be in a place where you can finally exhale and let your guard down and share some of your concerns, your strengths, your weaknesses, and vulnerabilities it's a unique experience, and it was just so welcomed, and really nurturing and enriching. And so that's I think the standout moment is how many opportunities do you get to do that as men, and at least in, obviously things have changed a bit, and for the provider, and that a lot of responsibility in your home and family may fall on your shoulders, and very seldom do you get an opportunity to take a step back and work on improving yourself as opposed to being the improvement for everyone around you.
That was good.
That's powerful. I definitely observed that as well, and heard some other men on the retreat make a similar observation. Another one that I mentioned before you called in was it was eye-opening how many of the guests mentioned that it had been so long since they had that opportunity to rest. And the fact that a lot of us, we get so used to walking around without an adequate amount of rest and just functioning in that manner, that we don't realize how that has how that's detrimental to our emotional and mental and physical health.
It's that was something that I was definitely impacted by directly, and as full and rounded as the retreat was, there was a moment where my engine just went out, and you do such emotional work during that period of time. I didn't have anything left, and I actually slept, as far as I can recall, for the longest consecutive amount of time. I slept for 11 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, I was allowed to sleep for 11 hours. It wasn't like I missed anything in the meantime, and I was able to return to the group and contribute again.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely an aspect, of it, is the rest that we don't get. And another thing that I think really caught me by surprise was a very, very simple portion of the program that we were in, and it was simple questions. And we went around and we kind of shared, what is it that you do for yourself to take care of yourself? And when it was my opportunity to reflect on that, I realized that I didn't have anything on that list. Everything I did in downtime or free time was for someone else. And that was that's an eye-opening moment, and that was an impactful moment that I had to acknowledge and then see what can I really do to improve that. And so that's been something that since the retreat has been working in my life for the better.
Yes, I was going to ask you that. What did you take away? What are you still doing today? Like maybe one thing you're still doing today as a result of the retreat?
Losing weight.
Amen.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow, that is great.
So it's.
That's good.
I'm very. I think like a lot of people, not just men, but a lot of people and a lot of men. I'm very unforgiving in the passion for taking care of my loved ones and my family.
Yeah.
And there's no excuses for not turning up what they need. But I wasn't that passionate when it came to myself and doing what I need. So that's something that has changed as a result of the time with the retreat, is that, I make time for my children and what they need, whether I can or I can't, whether I have the time or the money or I can't. And now it's a bit of that for myself. I mean, it's not total self-indulgence, but it's not taking excuses for not doing what's necessary to make myself the best that I can be.
Yes, that's great. And your weight loss journey, like which part of the retreat, was it the workshops? Was it the chef? Was it the physical trainer that came in? Which part was it that, really stuck with you to make this your ongoing journey?
Well, for me, I don't think it works quite that way. The retreat is in total. It's not in aspects. And so being there, having all of the things that you mentioned, having a trainer and a chef and the discussions and the connections with the other participants, being in that environment all together is what made the difference. And making a commitment to myself, making a commitment and accountability to others, that's what made the difference. And so, it's a funny thing, because from the outside, a great many people didn't see But for me, it was something that had room for improvement. And it was a matter of acknowledging that and being in a place that was nurturing enough and supportive enough to say, hey, go tend to it. And that's what I've been doing. And so instead of making excuses why I couldn't or giving in to the exhaustion or the obligations outside, I had to make myself a bit of a priority. And again, I don't know how many of us, men or women, get to take that inventory and really be honest with yourselves to say, what do I need to do for me?
Absolutely. No, thank you, Dr. Black. That's just really eye-opening. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate you. And it was a pleasure to have you as a guest on the retreat. I was saying earlier that I benefited from it and learned just as much as the guests on the retreat. And it was just so rewarding. Like beyond, the words don't exist to express how rewarding it was to be a part of that experience and that transformation for the great group of guys that was assembled on that retreat. So thank you again.
I'm very happy and grateful to have been a part of it. I benefited from it personally. I would encourage anyone, if you find an opportunity, to be a part of something like this. If Mervin Bourne has another hosted retreat, hopefully he will share that information with all of us. And please take an opportunity for yourself, for those around you. Be a part of it. It was wonderful, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
I love it.
Thank you so much. I'll be in touch with you soon, all right?
All right, you guys have a great one.
Have a wonderful night.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
How does that make you feel when you hear the feedback from your retreat?
Oh, it's such an amazing confirmation. You know, so often we set out on these endeavors and we have these lofty thoughts and ideas, and a lot of times we just push them down and tuck them away because we're like, nah, nobody's going to want that, or nobody's going to follow me, nobody's going to jump on that train, you know. And you kind of, we spend a lot of time repressing those things, but then when you actually take one of those ideas and grab a hold of it and you say, you know what, I'm putting this out there, I'm putting it out into the universe, I'm going to put the work behind it, I'm going to put the research behind it, I'm going to put my heart into it, and see if the plane flies. Yeah. And so it's just really humbling, and I just have this overwhelming feeling of gratitude that the event was a success and that it helps people.
Yeah, that's amazing. We see a couple more people who have joined. Thank you so much for coming into the room. We have Ella, we have Lauren and Don. Thank you so much for joining the folks that are already here.
Do we need to break? I think we might.
Well, before we
blew through one.
Is he telling you that we need
no,
to? Okay.
No, we're
so for those of you guys who just joined, we want to say congratulations to Carte Blanche, to Victoria, to Elmora, who also called in. You guys are the winners each of one of our books. We are gifting away. I think we're going to be done this session and nobody won. So we're gifting away $100 off my upcoming retreat, which is February 20th through the 23rd. And Mervin is gifting $100 off of his future men's wellness retreat. And we're also gifting an affirmation box of 40. And what you need to do in order to qualify for that one is just be the first person to answer. What are the 3 things that you have taken away from our shows in 2019? Super easy. And you get a gift for 2019. It's right in time for Christmas. So let us know. And you said you think we're going to break?
Yes. So we blew through the last one. So.
Oh, okay.
Stay with us. We'll be back. We keep rolling.
Okay.
Dr.
Awesome.
Black was on when
when it was break time?
Yeah.
Break time, and I didn't want to.
All right.
Okay, well, great.
Our engineer extraordinaire says we can keep rolling, so we're going to keep
Aldo
rolling.
says keep it moving. So you have time to still write in. I think one of the people that I see on here, I had the pleasure, and I actually did it at my last retreat too, is just working through fear. We actually talked it at the show as well. Yeah. But, you know, taking people through an exercise on fear. And I forget who was our guest here, and I like to personify fear such that it becomes real. And I forget who it was we had. It was Nate was here for one of the sessions where we talked fear,
yes.
and his perspective of fear was a little different than personifying it, but it was really interesting to hear both of the dynamics. And so one of the people on the phone had seen me, two of the people on the phone has seen me do a fear exercise where literally through visualization we get really clear on what the fear is and how we just bust through that obstacle so that that doesn't handcuff you and hold you hostage to the greatness that is available to you just right out here. It's funny because my son has this phobia, like this fear-stricken phobia of doctors. And I was at the dentist with him the other day, and she said it's hereditary. She said it's genetic. And I was thinking about it, like, who could he get that from? I mean, let me just explain the phobia that he has. So and first I didn't put any effort into it, but now that I've really seen it now twice, I'm like, this is a real thing. So when he had surgery before, he gets there and he thinks about it like a couple days, like, hey, I'm really nervous about this surgery. So we talk about it, we get there, and he just instantly goes into kind of a panic. And so we get back there, he's playing and everything, but as soon as the doctor comes in and says, okay, it's time to go, he'll be like, no, 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 and cover his mouth. You know, he won't definitely he can't get a shot. Like he's just, even if you try to hold him down, it's not happening. But even to get the liquid medicine that you drink was a task. And he's just fear-stricken. And it happened the other day at the dentist. He definitely wouldn't keep the laughing gas on. It just was amazing. And so to see someone that is that ridden with fear, like genuine fear, we're really working on this fear. And what he's fearful of is it hurting? Like at the end of the day, when you really dig deep, he says, I'm nervous that it's gonna hurt and I don't want it to hurt. All of this is because of that, and it has just eaten away at him. So we've just been doing some things to really drill into that and asking him about personification. It's going really well, but it's going to be interesting because in January we go back to do it again. So I'll be able to test and see if my methods are going to work on my 7-year-old.
You got to record it.
Oh my God.
You got to record it.
Oh, yes, but it's definitely been something. So it's amazing what fear can do to just kind of shut you down.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be paralyzing.
Yes,
is what I've found and what I've learned, and in my own life and watching in other people's lives. It's always easier to spot potential and talent in other people, sometimes easier than it is to in yourself, right? So the converse of that is you also get to see so many people who, because of their fear, they repress their gifts and their talents.
Yeah.
And even when you want to pull it out of people, sometimes you can't. Like, it really takes that person coming to a realization of what lies within them.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you guys have any questions? I mean, this is the last time you're going to see us on this platform. We have plenty more to go. But if you guys have any questions, please write us here. Let us know. So far, we've talked to Dr. Black. We've heard from Kenji. We've heard from Natasha, who was here. Thank you so much.
We heard live from Elmora, right?
Yes, and live from Dr. Black. Elmora, for those of you guys who weren't on the called to talk about what she pulls out of my women's retreats, each one that she attends. She also talked a little bit about affirmations and the power that's in your voice when you're articulating that.
One of my other favorite shows was when we had a guest on from the Baltimore City mayor's office, and he's a liaison to the mayor, Mr. Rick Leandri. And we had a really interesting conversation with him about all of the things that Baltimore City is doing to not only inspire youth, but form coalitions with the youth and help the youth of Baltimore City just out of the challenging conditions that they're in, so that even within those conditions they can have some form of success, build some esteem, build some willpower to be successful, and how to come up out of those situations. And one of the initiatives that I remember him talking about was how he coalesced the Squeegee Boys, who were working independently, just on a solo basis. To a lot of them, he let us know are just trying to make money to buy school clothes or buy food for their families, and just the fact that now they are an organized, cohesive group, and have a business model that was just really amazing. And just one example of how like regular people can make a huge difference in the lives of kids. And so when you see a problem, it's not enough to just like lament over the problem and have pity on people, right? Like, let's take it a step beyond the pity and do something, and I think a lot of times we don't realize that we can actually do something. We can act in a way that's going to change people's lives.
What would you say is, like, what impact do you hope your work does for people? What is the impact you want to leave?
One of the most important impacts that I could leave on someone is for them to believe and understand that they are inherently valuable. To believe and understand that because they exist, because they were born, they are important. And that importance and that value doesn't depend on anything or anyone that's external to themselves. It doesn't depend on a relationship. It doesn't depend on if you were born into a wealthy family. It doesn't depend on if you went to a fancy college or university or have degrees. It doesn't depend on any of that. Every single individual that is born is special, is powerful, is valuable, and is important. And if you can leave anything that I write or any words that I say with that message and with that understanding and that belief, then to me, that's all I could ever ask for.
I like that. I like that. I think the what I absolutely want to impart on women, what I want to impart on the teams that I work with, is that there is greatness that lies within you. And through exercises, through tools, through techniques, we will pull that out and make sure that you are leveraging that to fulfill your destiny, to fulfill where you want to be, what you want to do. Right? It is to know that there's power in the word no, so that it can mean saying yes to you. It is that you are greater than where you stand right now. And if you allow yourself to sit in the power of your pause, you will be surprised at the endless possibilities that are awaiting you. Right? That's just awaiting you when you move distractions out of your way, when you allow yourself to be unshackled from fear, when you allow yourself to just open up to new and different possibilities. It's just amazing at the exploration, and I just think that that's so powerful. So that's what I want to leave people with. So when we are back on Now We're Talking, wow, it's already 8:47. We're giving you one more chance to write on in, grab these free gifts that you guys don't seem to want, and we're ready to gift them back when we're back on Now We're Talking.
I thought you was gonna have my money today.
Man, it is what it is.
Then last week you told me your wife was cooking.
Man, it is what it is.
Then again, I don't think I want your wife cooking because you don't like it.
Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio. It is what it is, 9/11.
Are they ready to? I know they're not ready to accept it, but yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. Like, how many of them are really ready to think about it like that?
None.
You know, like
I think the problem is
like
I don't even know how we got here, but it's inbred. You're not born to hate people. You're not born to distinguish between black and white and Asian and Hispanic. That's something that you're taught. You're taught. Point blank, period.
Straight up.
My daughter came home and told me that her white teacher was black. Maybe it's because it's how she treated her. She don't see any color. But when it comes to all her friends, all her friends are mixed. All of her friends have a white parent, black, African, Hispanic, other parent.
So
children don't see color. You breed your children. Not breed.
Right.
You raise your children to see that.
Yeah, most definitely.
They don't see racism.
Well, I guess
I met a little girl who had a black doll, and she said because the black dolls are prettier than the white dolls. But then I've taken a black doll and a white doll and put it in front of two kids. And it's a study that they've done before. You put it in front of two kids, and you put it in front of a kid, and you ask them, which one is the nice one?
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9 a.m.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'm gonna show these niggas what to do with one of your beats, man. I am Gas, by the way.
Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. Can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them. Birth certificate, baby daddy, she couldn't list them. But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but niggas.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking with Mervin A. Bourne Jr. and Lolita E.
Hello,
Walker.
happy Thursday.
Yes,
It is bittersweet today.
I know. We are coming to the end of our final show on this platform for 2019.
Yes, we have so much more to go, but we wanted to just make sure that we said thank you to each and every one of you who has tuned in every single week, to each one of our guests who are still here today, listening in and listening on. We thank you so much for being part of our journey. We each are going to leave you with a little bit from our books. Congratulations once again to Carte Blanche, to Victoria, to Elmora, who each won a gift from our show today. You'll be getting one of our books in the mail. Make sure you send an email to nowwe'retalkinglive@gmail.com so we can make sure we mail that to you. And thank you, Dr. Black, for calling in. We appreciate you talking through the retreats. Awesome. So I'm going to leave you with everything is a journey, right? Life is a journey. Our journey right here has come to an end for 2019, but it has just opened up the door for us for 2020.
That's
which
right.
It's awesome. So I leave you with stop one, Journey Junction of my book, The Intersection of You and Change, because we find ourselves standing right here where we need to make a decision. Left, right, where we stay complacent, or we might even turn back. Journey Junction. Journey. Each chapter starts with an acronym. So this is Journey. And it says, Journey Junction is the place where all decisions come to be explored. Open your mind, close your eyes, and refer back to your vision board. Unleash your thoughts, your passions, your blocks, and your fears. Remember to affirm your faith and strengths aloud so you continuously hear that now and forever, your journey will be traveled with only a chosen few. Experience the unexpected and allow yourself to start anew. You are power and you are confidence. So trust this journey that is crafted especially for you. Welcome to Journey Junction. Each stop starts with an acronym. It tells you a little bit about the stop itself. It tells you a little bit about my journey or my whatever we're talking about. And then it also gives you some work to do from there. What am I talking about in this chapter? My journey was, I was at a crossroads. And this is when I asked my mother if I could move in with her for 2 years while I kickstarted my business. And when she was quiet, what that made me feel like standing at this junction right here. She didn't answer right away. It's like, hello. So that is what I leave you with. Yes, she was her intentional pause. Yes. So please stay connected to me at lolitawalker.com. If you go to lolitawalker.com, there'll be a pop-up for you to join my newsletter. And I don't overwhelm you, but I do send you some information, and you can definitely keep up with what's going on. All right?
That's awesome. And I just want to read an excerpt to you from my book, A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son. And this is an excerpt from my introduction where I talk about success. Everyone has their own definition of success. To some, it means attaining a certain income. To others, it means driving a certain car. To still others, it means gaining fame and notoriety, while for some it means graduating from high school or college. In my eyes, however, being successful means that you have identified your talents and gifts and are using them as a means to fulfill your obligations to yourself, your family, and your fellow man. If money, fame, and notoriety come with the fulfillment of these obligations, then so be it. I truly believe that if boys are raised to believe that their happiness and success depends on whether or not they identify and develop their talents and strengths for the fulfillment and betterment of themselves and the people around them, then the world would be a much better place and a much different place. Families would be tighter and stronger, and our boys and men would be more responsible. They would be successful in mass proportions.
Awesome.
Thank you. So that's an excerpt from A Single Mother's Guide to Raising a Son, which is available on my website, mervinbourne.com, as well as amazon.com. And if you're into ebooks, it's available in e-form as well.
Yes, well, thank you. And another thing I want to leave you guys with is a few upcoming events. January 6th, I will be on Channel 8 around the 8 o'clock hour. I will be talking about how to shift to your best self and stick to it, right? How to stick to the shift. So, we have these New Year's resolutions. We want to shift and say, this is what we're going to do. But by February, we're all petered out. Like, we're not exercising anymore. So I'm giving you 5 strategies on how to stick to your shift. That's on January 6th. On January 18th, I am hosting a Visioning and Beyond event. More than just putting pretty pictures on a board, we go beyond with some intentional work. That's going to be in Brandywine, Maryland, January 18th. It's a Saturday. And then February 20th, it's time for the retreat. So Women's Weekend Renewal Retreat. We are going all in. 4 days, all inclusive, and we are just going to push. We're going to push you beyond your comfort zones. But when you leave, I promise you, you will have been shifted. It's life altering.
Awesome. And as far as events coming up, important dates, stay tuned in January 2020 for information about how you can pre-order my next book, 365 Meditations for the Purpose-Driven Man, which will be available by Father's Day 2020. So news will be coming really soon. And also stay tuned for news about our next endeavor and how we're going to be coming to you, bringing you this awesome content in 2020.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining. We give one more round of applause to celebrate your win.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Aldo, super shout out. Thank you for the awesome engineering that you have done for our 9 months. We couldn't have done it without you.
And thank you so much to Nate for, especially at the beginning of this
and Monty,
journey, for sitting in with us, co-hosting with us, making sure that we were,
relaxed,
not falling flat on our faces.
He told us we weren't really relaxed in the beginning. Remember?
As we started off.
We were like tense.
We really appreciate you, Nate, and everything that you've done for us and for this platform and Monty and Be Exposed Radio and the entire Be Exposed Radio staff. We are so appreciative, and you will always be a part of our journey. We thank you.
Yes. All right, we are signing off from Now We're Talking on Be Exposed Radio, and thank you guys for being here. Till next time, happy Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy New Year.
Yes.
What are we missing in there? Whatever it is you celebrate, happy all of that. All right.
Yes.
Till 2020. Be safe.
There's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah, bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Ooh. Oprah said, what is the problem? Ooh. You said if I don't have your money, there was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. You know, you may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on.